Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. The other day I was walking through Walmart and I noticed that they have some of their flannels out in the women's department. So I bought a 100% cotton black and white flannel shirt and I decided to try to ice dye it. I prepped the shirt like normal and then I went ahead and buttoned it all the way up. I'm not going to turn this one inside out. I'm going to begin the spiral for this shirt right at the very corner, so I'm just going to grab the corner and start to twist and spiral the shirt. At first, I thought I would go ahead and unbutton the shirt and see about spiraling it that way, but I couldn't quite get the sleeves of the shirt to work in the way I wanted them to, so I decided to go ahead and button it up and spiral it that way. I'm going to hold these folds in place with some rubber bands. I'm going to use a warmer color palette for this shirt. And since I'm going to ice dye it, I'm going to use my silicone cake molds and make myself an ice barrier. There are links for where I got the cake molds down below, along with links for the different dye colors that I've used and quite a few of the other things that I use when I tie dye. So I wanted this shirt to have more of like a softer dye feel. So I decided to add the ice on top of the shirt and then put the dye over the top of the ice. So that's what I'm doing. I'm adding a layer of ice over the top of the shirt. And I'm kind of heaping it up pretty well. I want quite a bit of ice because this is a fairly thick shirt. The first color that I'm going to use is marigold. And I'm going to add a stripe of marigold just straight down the middle. Basically dividing the shirt in two halves. Then on one half I'm going to use pagoda red, which is also a Dharma color. Sorry, the marigold was a Dharma color too. And then I'm going to use Spanish carmine on the other side. That's a color from Custom Colors. Then over the top of the dye, I'm going to add just a little bit more soda ash. Now I'm going to set the shirt aside and I'm going to allow this first layer of ice to melt. I came back after the first layer of ice melted, and even though this is not a super thick flannel like some of them are, it's still thicker than just a regular t-shirt. So you can kind of see the dye has started coming through in a few areas, but it's not all the way through to the back side. So instead of just trying to add more ice like I do sometimes to force more dye through the shirt, I'm going to go ahead and just turn the shirt over and dye the back side. So I'm going to add ice to the back side and use the same dye pattern that I did on the front side. I kind of suspected that this would happen. That's one of the reasons why I did a more simple dye pattern. I figured I was probably going to have to replicate it on the back side of the shirt. I'm going to add a little bit more soda ash, and then I'm going to set the shirt aside again. So after the ice melted the second time, this is what the shirt looked like. And I went ahead and left it and allowed it to process for about 48 hours. I'm going to rinse it the way I normally rinse all my shirts. I'm going to start out in some cold water to rinse out the soda ash. Then I'm going to untie the shirt and gradually warm the water up to hot. The hot water is really good to rinse out any of the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Here again, since this shirt is a little bit thicker than a regular t-shirt, I went ahead and just ran some hot water in my sink, added a little splash of Blue Dawn dish detergent, and I allowed the shirt to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out and continued the soaking process until my water was almost clear. Then I threw the shirt into the washing machine along with some of Dharma's textile detergent and washed it using a hot water cycle. Then after it was washed and dried, here's what it looks like. So what do you guys think? I really like this shirt. I like the warmer color palette. I'm not exactly sure what I was expecting with this design. I did spiral it from the corner, but I don't really have a full-on spiral look with the shirt, partially because of the way I spiraled it and the dye application that I used. But you can very definitely see the one main red line going down through the shirt. The pagoda red and the marigold don't stand out quite as much as that Spanish carmine right in the middle of the shirt. But I think it looks pretty. I mean, it stands out more in the photo than it does in real life. It's not quite that intense when you see it like on or hanging on a hanger. I like the fact too that the color is a little softer. I think it'll be really pretty to wear during the cooler weather. I have a couple more different flannels that I'm going to experiment with. I found that some of the flannels that are out there are not 100% cotton. So I have a few of those that are just part cotton and part polyester. So I'm going to do some experimenting with those and see how those turn out too. So stay tuned, those videos will be coming soon. But what do you guys think about this shirt? Do you like it? Drop me a comment down below and let me know. And I'd also really appreciate it if you'd like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.